Welcome to another video lecturer. In this lecture, I am going to discuss about the different operations which we can carry out on the lathe machine. Before we get into the details, let's have a recap of the previous class. In previous class, we learned about the different parts of the lathe: headstock, tailstock, spindle, tool holder, carriage, cross slide, lead screw, feed rod. These are all the components are basically meant for to get a relative motion between the cutting tool and the workpiece. Because the relation between the cutting tool and the workpiece will give you the different surfaces. So that's why elaborate arrangement is made in the lathe machine. Lathe machine is a versatile machine because almost all types of the operations we can carry out on this lathe machine. So these are the few components which are manufactured on the lathe machine. They may not be done fully on the lathe machine because now we are living in an era we are making use of CNC machines, computer numerical controlled machine. So manual lathe machines are only seen in repair shops. So it is quite interesting whether it is a city, whether it is an urban area, whether it is a rural area. Definitely you will find there will be lathe machines in the what you call workshops where the repairing of agriculture equipment or any kind of machines will be taking place. So that shows the versatility of the what you call lathe machine. So here is the list of operations which we can carry out on the lathe machine. So turning, facing, chamfering, knurling, forming, gluing and parting off, drilling, boring, tapered, turning, thread cutting. So these are the various what you call operations which we can do it on the lathe machine. We will try to understand one by one each operation is there and how it is carried out. We start with a very simple operation on lathe machine, which one we call it as a turning. So sometimes this lathe machine is also called as a turning machine because here the workpiece is rotating and whereas the cutting tool is fed along with the axis of the rotation. So this is sometimes called as a straight cutting also. So where the tool is fed perpendicular to it in order to get the depth. So suppose say that I wanted to reduce a diameter of 50 mm to 45 mm. At once I cannot remove the 5 mm material in a single stroke. What I have to do it, every time I have to remove it little bit by little bit. So that is little what I am talking about is depth of cut. 1 mm depth of cut we will give, one turn we will carry out the operation. Second time again I will give 1 mm and one more turn I will do. In multiple pass or in multiple steps we are going to remove the material. So here there are varieties are there. So you may see here the one small diagram is there which is showing you may have a square what you call shoulder, you may have a reduced shoulder, you may have a beveled shoulder or you may have a undercut shoulder. Even you can have several steps of the diameter. If it is done so, then that is called as step turning. In case of this turning, there will be reduction in the diameter. There may be cases that where we require to reduce the length of the job. So in that cases we go for the second operation, what we call it as a facing one. So facing operation is normally it is carried out on the end face of the job. So normally the end face of the job may not be even surface. To make it even surface or to get the right dimensions on the jobs, we supposed to go through this facing operation. In facing operation, the tool is not moved along with the horizontal axis of the workpiece. Now the tool moves perpendicular to it. or what we can call it as a radial one. And tool is not fed at 90 degree to the axis. Now it is making certain angle. So normally 30 to 45 degree angle angle is made with the cutting tool with the perpendicular drawn to the axis of the lathe machine or the workpiece. So in doing so we can reduce the length of the workpiece. So this process we call it as a phasing operation. Next is what we call it as a taper turning. So taper turning is nothing but creation of a taper. What do you mean by the taper? Taper is nothing but it is a conical shape. That one we call it as a taper, or a slope type of the job we call it as a taper. There are several instances where we need to carry out this taper type of the job. So it may be paper holder may be there, or it may be any what you call knob for rotating the hand wheel. It may be any shaft. Wherever we wanted to have a permanent fix, there also we need to get this taper. So if we talk about what you call mounting of the boring tool or drill bit in the tailstock, so there also we require this taper type of the jobs. So taper is nothing but it is the reduction in diameter. So the diagram shows that there are two diameters are there. D, capital D is bigger diameter, small d is small diameter. So we can have a geometrical relationship between here. If you extend those two, they will meet at a single point. I am considering only half of the angle of the cone, that is what we call it as a alpha. So we are going to get a small formula using a triangle ABC, which is half of the cone. So using the tan alpha, we will get a formula D minus D divided by 2L, where alpha is half taper angle, D is large diameter, small d is small diameter, and L is the length of the taper. So once if we get this angle, so we can set this angle on the lathe machine and we can carry out the work. In case of straight turning, the tool will be moving at 90 degree. Now what happens in the taper turning, you have to move it at a different angle. That too, it depends upon the how much taper you wanted to get it on the job. There are several methods are there by which we can do the taper turning. So first one is taper turning by form tool method. Second one is taper turning by swelling the compound rest. Third is taper turning by offset the tailstock. And fourth one is taper turning by taper turning attachment. The first one is the simplest method, that is using the form tool. I will prepare the tool itself, which is equal to the angle which is to be generated on the job itself. In the diagram you can see that one, the form tool will be having the same slope as that of the workpiece. Now I am going to move this tool perpendicular to the axis. That is what we call it as a feed. The direction is shown here. Slowly I will move it. So whatever the form or whatever the angle is there on the tool is there, it will be impressed on the job. So in this way, I can get the taper. This is only for the jobs which are small in size and less in number. Second method is what we call it as a swelling compound rest method. So here, we have to rotate the compound rest. Now you have to recall the lathe parts. Carriage is there. On the top of the carriage there is a saddle is there. On top of the saddle there is a what you call compound rest is there. On that we have a cross slide. On that we have a cutting tool post we have. So the compound rest it's a small disc, it's a circular disc on which the graduations are made on it. So we can set any angle. So there are setting screws are there for the compound rest. You have to unscrew them and you have to tilt the compound rest and set it at the given angle. The angle can be calculated by the formula which we discussed earlier. So the same angle we have to set it on the compound rest. Now we can see in the figure the tool moves at an angle similar to the angle which is supposed to be obtained on the job itself. So inclined way, the tool will be moving in an inclined way instead of a straight line. So in this way, so we can achieve the desired taper. The taper is dependent on the diameters, big diameter and the small diameter. So we can calculate alpha and we have to set it on the compound rest, then we can get the taper one. I'm going to cover only two varieties. Another two varieties is one is what we call it as a tailstock offset method. So in case of tailstock offset method, the headstock and tailstock, they are normally in single line. So there is a small arrangement is there for the tailstock, where the upper portion of the tailstock can be moved by some what we call meter, some mm or inches. So that by calculating again the similar geometrical relation, I calculate what should be the distance by which the tailstock is to be offsetted. The same distance I will offset it, then I am going to get the taper. The last one is with the taper attachment. It's an accessory which comes with the lathe machine. With that attachment, easily we can generate the taper surfaces on the jobs. So this is a long list is there. Just we covered the turning, we covered the facing. So we covered the taper turning. Now we try to understand what do you mean by the thread cutting. So thread cutting is a special operation on the lathe machine. So normally you might have seen on the bolts or the screws, some helical grooves are cut on it. Those what you call helical grooves are made on the lathe machine itself. So in lathe machine, to cut the threads on the job, we need to have some setup. So we know that one. So every screw or bolt will have one parameter, which one we call it as a pitch. The pitch is nothing but it is the distance between the two adjacent crusts. So we have different varieties of the screws, we have different varieties of the thread heads. So it means I have to generate threads with different pitches. How I can achieve it on the lathe machine? So for that what we do, we make use of the gear trains. So in the diagram you can see in the left part, the lead screw which is now connected to the what you call spindle of the headstock through these gears. It means what? We are going to create a relative movement between the lead screw and the workpiece. So that is the ratio. So that ratio is dependent on the pitch of the what you call job. There are certain arrangements are there. So by using the movement of the levers, so we can set any value of the pitch on the lathe machine. Once the gears are set and lead screw is now engaged with the gear train, now we are ready to cut the threads. Normally this lead screw will not be engaged during the simple turning operations. Only during the what you call thread cutting only, so we are going to engage this lead screw. The engaging lever will be in the apron, which is part of the carriage. So now you can see that one. Again I have set my tool, which is what I call it as a single point cutting tool. So I am going to feed it again parallel to the what you call working axis of the workpiece. So every time I will move little bit further in perpendicular direction. That is what I call it as a depth of cut. So it depends upon what type of groove we are cutting it. So screw may be helical groove, it may be a square one, or it may be buttress thread. So depends upon that one. So we have to set the parameters on the lathe machine. So in this way, so we are going to cut the threads on the lathe machine. Next in this series is what we call as a chamfering. Chamfering is a process where we are beveling the edge of the job itself. So because if the edge is very sharp, it will damage the operator or it may damage the job itself. So normally, so we bevel the end surface of the jobs. So that process we call it as a chamfering one. Again we are going to feed the tool at an angle or we will create that angle on the tool itself and we are going to feed it perpendicular to it, and depends upon the width of the chamfer, the horizontal feed we will going to adjust it. Next is what we call it as a parting off. So parting off operation is the one which is cutting off the workpiece itself. So normally we on a single block we are going to create several jobs on it. So when we do so we need to cut off the two completed parts. For that purpose I use operation what we call it as a parting off. To do this one we have a special tool, that one we call it as a parting off tool. Very thin tool, so that with minimum material we can cut it into the two pieces. So here is one more special what we call operation, which one we call it as a knurling one. So knurling is nothing but creating a impression or the what you call engrossing the particular pattern. Say that one diamond pattern on the job itself, we call it as a knurling. For that we make use of a special tool, what we call it as a knurling tool. Normally it will be having three wheels. There will be two wheels which will be guiding, and the third will be pressing against the job. So with low speed, so normally it will be very low speed at which we carry out this knurling operation. Slowly we press this knurling tool against the job. It means I am moving the knurling tool perpendicular to the axis of the workpiece. So in this way I am going to create the impression. So now you can move horizontally depending upon how much of length you wanted to do the knurling. So knurling is carried out to help the operator to grip the jobs. Sometimes for the lubrication purpose also the knurling is done. So if you don't do the knurling, it will be difficult for the operators to handle the job. So remember, this small one component is not going to make use of anything. There will be thousands of components will be there. When all these components are put together, that one we call it the sub-assembly. When all sub-assemblies are put together, it will be called as assembly. When all assemblies are put together, then we call it as some particular machine, you may say, or it may do some kind of useful work. So this all happens under some sort of mechanism. Okay, so for that the knurling is required to handle the parts in between the process. Next comes the drilling operation. So this is we have a special machines for drilling the holes itself, but still, as I said, the lathe is a very versatile machine, so we can carry out the drilling operation in this one. Normally the drilling operation is carried out with a tool which we call it as a twist drill, so which is a multi-point cutting tool which generates the hole in the job. So this drill bit I am going to fix it in the what we call tailstock. So tailstock can be moved on the guideways depending upon the length of the workpiece. So we can move the tailstock to the certain extent such that the tip of the drill bit touches the job. Then later the feed is given by rotating the hand wheel which is attached with the tailstock. Now you can see in the figure itself, the feed is not given from the tool post. Now the full feed is given by rotating the tailstock. So in this way, so I can create the what you call holes in the job on the lathe machine. So boring is the one more special operation, because to get the different internal diameters we need to have a different size of the bits, but every time the drill bit may not be available. For that purpose, under that situation we go for the operation what we call it as a boring. Basically it is meant for enlarging the hole which is been previously drilled itself. Sometimes this boring is also used to correct the axis of the rotation or the diameter of the what you call ovality of the cylinder shape. For that purpose also we make use of this what you call boring operation. And again boring tool is fixed in the tailstock. Okay, so then the movement of the tailstock will give the required feed to carry out the boring operation. So in this way, so we try to learn the different varieties of the operations which we can carry out on the lathe machine. So almost all machine operations I have covered. Some more, there are large number of what you call another operations are also there. So here this diagram shows you the different accessories of the lathe machine. As we got accessories by the boiler, with the accessories we can enhance the capability and their efficiency. In the same way, the lathe machine also, with the help of these all accessories, it will become capable of doing any kind of what you call work on it. So remember, even the odd shapes, even the square shape of the jobs also can be done on the lathe machine, and different operations also can be done out. But for that, we need to have a skilled operator. So these are the video links where you can see a beautiful 3D animation of the processes which I have explained here. So there is one more second link will tell you the actually working on the machine, and another one is meant for the animated what you call. I hope that one, if you go, you watch, you view these simulations, definitely you are going to get a better idea about the lathe operations. So these are the varieties of lathe operations which we carried out on the lathe machine. Thank you for watching my video.